Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into one of Ubisoft's boldest titles in the Far Cry series, Far Cry 5. Released back in 2018, this game took the franchise in some bold new directions, both narratively and mechanically. So whether you're thinking of picking it up, revisiting it, or just here for the analysis, stick around as we explore the story, gameplay, visuals, and everything else that makes or breaks Far Cry 5. Far Cry 5 opens with quiet dread. You and a small federal task force fly into Hope County, Montana, a beautiful and peaceful looking place on the surface, but just beneath, something's deeply wrong. You play as a rookie sheriff's deputy, tasked with serving a federal arrest warrant to Joseph Seed, leader of a violent doomsday cult called the Project at Eden's Gate. Joseph has built a massive following in secret, stockpiling weapons, brainwashing civilians, and quietly taking control of Hope County through fear, drugs, and charismatic control. And while the locals know something is happening, most are too scared, or too deep in denial, to do anything about it. In classic Far Cry fashion, things immediately go sideways. As you handcuff Joseph and fly off in the helicopter, his followers swarm. The aircraft crashes. You barely survive. The other agents, captured, tortured, or missing. And now, Joseph Seed declares that the world has started to collapse, exactly as he predicted. I told you God wouldn't let you take me. That's the moment you realize. You're not saving the world, you're trapped in someone else's version of it. Hope County is split into 3 major regions, each controlled by one of Joseph's heralds, his siblings, or spiritual kin. Each one represents a different method of control. John Seed uses fear and forced repentance. Faith Seed manipulates with drugs and illusion. And Jacob Seed enforces survival through brutality and brainwashing. Your job? Liberate each region by destroying cult operations, rescuing hostages, and ultimately confronting each herald. John is disturbingly charismatic. He preaches on TV regularly to promote beliefs but hides a sadist heart. His obsession is atonement. He forces people to confess their sins and physically carves the word sinner into their flesh as part of the ritual. His sermons are broadcast across the county and his tone is always calm, composed, even gentle as he tortures people into blind submission. What makes John's arc compelling is how he genuinely believes he's saving people. He doesn't see himself as cruel, he sees himself as merciful. Every scar he carves is a step closer to salvation, and he doesn't lash out emotionally like a cartoon villain. He slowly, quietly erodes his victim's will. Even the player is kidnapped by him more than once, forced to watch helplessly as allies are tortured or converted. The turning point comes when he kidnaps your allies, including Hudson, a fellow deputy. You infiltrate his compound, take back Holland Valley, and ultimately kill him. But even in death, John warns you. Joseph will not let you take me. He will never let you take any of us. And that's the twisted beauty of the Seed family. Every one of them wants to die for their cause. You're not fighting to save them, you're interrupting a prophecy. Next, we have Faith Seed, and her domain is Henbane River. A dreamlike, surreal nightmare drenched in fog, flowers, and synthetic euphoria. Faith isn't Joseph's blood relative, but she's taken the name Seed as a kind of spiritual bride or chosen martyr. Her primary weapon is a mind-altering drug called Bliss, a hallucinogen that distorts time, memory, and even your sense of morality. She presents herself as soft-spoken, gentle, almost innocent, but she is easily the most psychologically dangerous of the heralds. Her followers, called angels, are bliss-addicted zombies, completely under her control. She doesn't break you with pain like John. She uses pleasure, nostalgia, and illusion. She makes you want to surrender. Her region is filled with haunting visions, trippy sequences, and voiceovers from her past. Before she became Faith, her real name was Rachel Jessup, a troubled addict who Joseph took in and rebirthed. And when you confront her, she doesn't scream or fight. She simply asks you to let go, to join her. And even as she fades away after you kill her, she's smiling. She thanks you. You're left wondering, Did she even resist her own death? Thematically, her arc is about the loss of identity. You see what happens when someone trades free will for peace. It's terrifying, and it's beautifully told. Then we have Jacob Seed, the oldest brother, and a former army marksman. He rules the Whitetail Mountains, a harsh, mountainous region filled with abandoned cabins, survivalists, and war vets. Jacob believes in one thing: only the strong survive. His methods are all about conditioning and control. He's turned his region into a twisted boot camp where civilians are hunted, tortured, and turned into soldiers through forced brainwashing and psychological manipulation. Jacob uses music, specifically a haunting melody called Only You, as a trigger. He forces you to undergo experiments where that song plays, and you automatically start killing everyone in front of you, including allies. You're reduced to a weapon.
Only you could make this world seem right. Only you could make the darkness bright.
Eli! No!
What the fuck did you do? You fucking killed him!
Wait!
You fucking piece of shit!
Sweetie!
He trusted you!
This is where Far Cry 5's narrative hits its darkest moment. You're no longer just fighting a cult, you're becoming their product. Jacob's backstory is revealed through grim flashbacks and propaganda tapes. A veteran who saw the horrors of war, he believes society is weak and soft, and he's convinced he's preparing the world for the inevitable collapse. When you finally kill him, it's almost not a relief, it's sad, because you see a man who was broken long before the cult existed. Once all three heralds are dead, the game finally lets you return to Joseph Seed himself. You make your way to his massive compound called Eden's Gate, where he's gathered your captured friends, now broken and brainwashed. And here's where the game forces your hand in a bold way. Joseph offers you a choice: walk away or resist and fight. If you walk away, he lets you go, but the implication is that the court survives and Hope County remains his domain. If you fight, you free your friends, but in the final cutscene, just as you arrest him again, a nuclear bomb goes off in the distance. The world is actually ending.
Raise and pour from the vials the wrath of God upon the earth. It is finished, child.
And Joseph, eerily calm, tells you, "I told you, I was right." You race to a bunker with your friends. The screen fades to black. When it fades back in, you're trapped on the ground. The bunker is destroyed. Everyone's dead. Only Joseph survives, and he whispers, "You are my child now." That's the end.
It means I was right. I should kill you for what you've done. But you're all I have left now. You're my family.
Let's talk about that ending, because it's one of the most controversial in gaming. Some people loved it. It's bold, unexpected, subversive. Others hated it. They felt that all their effort was meaningless. No matter what you do, Joseph wins. But that's the point. Far Cry 5's story isn't about saving the world. It's about control, indoctrination, and the illusion of choice. You're not a hero. You're a pawn in someone else's prophecy. And in a world driven by cultish certainty and manufactured belief, maybe there is no winning. It's rare for a shooter to end on that kind of existential, gloomy note, and for that alone, Far Cry 5's story stands apart from almost any other in the franchise. Of course, story is only one piece of the puzzle. Let's talk about the gameplay in Far Cry 5, because beneath all the narrative dread, there's still the bombastic, open-world chaos that makes the franchise what it is. This time around, Ubisoft did something smart. They removed the map towers. The climbing puzzles to reveal chunks of the map are gone. Instead, you explore organically. Talk to NPCs, follow road signs, read notes in cabins. They all point you towards missions or stashes. It's intuitive and immersive. Hope County feels alive, and the game encourages you to go off the beaten path. One moment you're heading to a mission, the next you're hunting a legendary cougar or stumbling into a cult roadblock with prisoners tied up in the back. Each region, Holland Valley, Henbane River, and the Whitetail Mountains, has its own terrain, culture, and environmental tone. One's farmland and ranches, one's swampy and trippy, and one's snowy and militarized. It never gets stale visually. The gunplay in Far Cry 5 is instinctive and fast. Weapons have weight, recoil, and impact. Even the sound design adds to the punch. Snipers ring loud, shotguns boom, and explosions actually shake the screen. There's a huge variety of guns and tools. Pistols, SMGs, assault rifles, snipers, bows, flamethrowers, dynamite, you can even throw knives. And of course, the shovel, which you can actually throw like a tomahawk. It's dumb and it's beautiful. You can customize weapons with scopes, silencers and skins. Suppressed sniper, stealth. LMG with an extended mag, full Rambo. The game never limits how you want to approach a fight. Enemies come in different tiers. Basic cultists, heavies in body armor, snipers, flamethrower units, and even bliss zombified angels. There's enough enemy variety to keep you on your toes. The AI can be a mixed bag. Sometimes enemies try flank you, take cover, or coordinate attacks. Other times, they run face first into gunfire or drive directly off cliffs. You'll laugh, you'll shake your head, but it keeps things entertaining. Wildlife is also a threat, or an ally. Wolves, cougars, bears, even wolverines can either ambush you or distract enemies mid-fight. There's nothing more Far Cry than planning a stealth infiltration, only to have a wild turkey attack you and blow your cover. One of the coolest and most useful systems in Far Cry 5 is the Guns for Hire roster. You can recruit up to 2 companions to fight alongside you at any time, and they're not just gimmicks, they seriously change how you play. Some specialise in stealth, others in heavy firepower, and few are just pure chaos machines. The beauty of this system is in the flexibility. Heading into a heavily fortified outpost, bring a sniper to cover you from the hill. Want to sneak in silently? Grab someone who could tag enemies or execute stealth kills. Or maybe you just want to drop an airstrike and watch the world burn. There's someone for that too. Each specialist has perks that actually matter, and they'll comment on what's happening around them. They'll even interact with each other if you bring 2 at once. Some of it funny, some surprisingly personal. 2 standout examples for me is Grace Armstrong, who's a sniper who provides surgical long-range cover and is perfect for picking off targets without raising alarms, and Cheeseburger, a giant grizzly bear who rushes enemies and throws them around like ragdolls. Yes, he's literally a bear, and he might be one of the best companions in any Far Cry game. Far Cry 5 ditches traditional XP and skill trees. Instead, you complete challenges to earn perk points, kill enemies with specific weapons, fish certain species, stealth kill, fly, drive, and even survive longer than 10 minutes in the wild. It all adds up. Perks are grouped into combat, stealth, survival, and support categories. Want more weapon slots, faster reloads, health boosts? It's all modular, and you're free to shape your playstyle however you want. Instead of telling you what to do like all other Far Cry's have done, here you gain resistance points by making friends and getting specialists in the roster, as well as doing story missions and challenges, which was a big change that at first I found confusing. You don't strictly follow a story, you choose what missions you want to do to complete the game, which, although it can be fun, some missions were repetitive, boring, or sort of based on chance, such as having to wait for a Colt tanker truck to appear randomly and having to take it without it being destroyed, and you have to do that twice with no guarantee of a truck being around you. Combat feels great, the world is dynamic, the companion system is clever, and there's always something happening. You never run out of things to blow up, but it's not perfect. Forced capture sequences can get annoying. You'll be in the middle of exploring, then bam, bliss darts to the neck. You wake up in a cutscene and it just kills the momentum. Enemies respawn a lot. You clear a road and then 2 minutes later it's full again. It makes travelling frustrating if you're trying to just explore or collect. One of Far Cry 5's strongest elements, and probably its most underrated, is the world itself. Hope County, Montana. This isn't just a background for the action, it's a fully realised living ecosystem, and one of Ubisoft's most detailed open worlds to date. What makes it stand out is how believable it feels. It's rural America, yes, but not in a cartoonish way. You've got dense forests, open farmland, winding rivers, dusty roads, mountain ranges. It's all been crafted with an attention to detail that makes the setting feel real. not just gamey. You'll drive past fishing shacks, gas stations with old vending machines, or court-occupied churches, plastered with ominous Eden's Gate iconography. There are cabins full of abandoned family photos, half-eaten meals, old radios still playing music. These tiny touches all tell a story, sometimes more effectively than the actual missions do. Each of the 3 main regions also has its own environmental identity. These areas don't just look different, they affect how you play. In the mountains, you're forced into long-range engagements or vertical ambushes. In the river areas, you're dealing with lower visibility and trippy hallucination sequences. In the farms, it's vehicles and wide open gunfights. Hope County might not be the biggest map in Ubisoft history, but it might be the most cohesive. It supports the narrative, deepens the atmosphere, and always rewards exploration. Whether you're storming a cult compound or just flying in the quiet, this world feels lived in. And honestly, it makes Far Cry 5 feel a cut above most open world shooters in terms of tone and immersion. Far Cry 5 is one of those games that sticks with you. Not because it reinvents the formula, but because it refines it all in the right way. The gunplay is solid and satisfying. The roster system adds a fresh tactical layer, and Hope County feels like one of Ubisoft's most immersive and reactive open worlds yet. Whether you're sneaking through cult compounds, causing chaos with your hired guns, or just relaxing by the river with a fishing rod, the freedom the game offers is genuinely impressive. That said, it's not without flaws. The story shows promise but gets weighed down by repetitive mission design and those infamous forced capture scenes that break the flow. The pacing could get uneven as you clear region after region, making some parts feel a bit familiar. Overall, I'm going to give Far Cry 5 a 9.5 out of 10. A near masterpiece that falls just behind Far Cry 3. The reason I have it just behind Far Cry 3 is because Far Cry 3's story and characters hit harder. Vaas and Jason's intense, personal journey still set the bar for the series. Far Cry 3 also felt more focused, with a clearer narrative progression that made its emotional moments land stronger, and its pacing was tighter, never pulling you out of the action with forced interruptions like Far Cry 5's bliss trips and cult kidnappings do. But even with those differences, Far Cry 5 brings its own chaos, charm, and an evoking world that keeps you hooked for hours on end. If you love the freedom and fun of Far Cry 3, then this is a worthy successor. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time for Far Cry 6.